Hey everyone, Kevin Lewis here with Home Life Benchmark Titus Realty, and it's time for your February 2021 Fraser Valley Real Estate Update. So now that January is come and gone, well, about all I can say from the month of January is, wow. We've had another record-breaking month for the fifth month in a row for the total number of sales for that given month. January 2021 came in 78% higher than the 10-year average for the month and whopping 28% higher than the previous highest sales for January back in January 2016. The market is going up, and it's going up quickly and not at this point in time showing any signs of slowing down. The biggest part of the market that is increasing is detached homes. Townhouses are going up quite quickly, while condos have stayed down, although based on what I'm seeing in my business, it does look as if they're starting to pick up as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up quite a bit quicker than the rest, as the prices just seem to be getting out of hand at this point in time. The first thing I want to talk about today is if you're thinking about downsizing from your detached home into a townhouse or into a condo or even moving out of the area, now might just be the absolute best time in recent history, or pretty much ever, to make that move happen as far as your finances are concerned. If we go back about a year, the market was in a pretty good state of equilibrium, although one could argue that detached homes were slightly higher than they should be in comparison to townhomes and condos. Now, you take that into today's market, 1 year later, detached homes, like I just said, were already a little bit high, have increased on average 15% year to year, whereas townhomes, I say the word only, they've increased only 7% in comparison to 15. Now 7% is still a massive increase in a year-to-year change, but compared to that 15% that we've seen in detached homes, that makes the opportunity and that gap between the detached home to the townhouse that much larger. So if you're looking to move up from a townhouse to a detached, unfortunately it might not be the best time. Difficult to say what the future is going to hold as far as whether that gap will close by detached coming back down or townhouses going up, or a combination of both. But like I say, if you're in that detached home and your thoughts were to downsize in 1 or 2 years, you might want to rethink that and move the things up to right now, basically, when the market is going absolutely insane. Now, I know I mentioned year-to-year change of 15% for detached homes. However, that's just all of January's average stats compared to all of January 2020's average stats. What I've seen in my business in the last few weeks alone, now that we're a week into February as well, it's looking, North Delta market specifically is where I've done this sort of case study, if you want to call it that. Homes are selling 25% higher than they were just 1 month ago back in December 2020. That's right, 25% increase in 1 month. That's almost completely unheard of. In my opinion, it's not long-term sustainability in an increase that quickly. And like I say, it might be a small window of time we have to take advantage of this opportunity to sell your current home and move down to that townhouse if that is something you're thinking about. Now, obviously, I can't see into the future, and this discrepancy may last much longer, but we just don't have the historic data to really tell us how long these things are going to last because, well, basically, we've never gone through a pandemic that's caused historically low interest rates. Buyers tend to be more comfortable going into somebody else's home the same way that we've all gotten used to the whole social distancing situation where we're going to the supermarket. We understand as a community that we're keeping our distance away from everybody else. We're all wearing masks, carrying sanitizer, and doing everybody's part. And keeping on the social norms, looking at it from a seller's perspective, we're also not socializing and inviting our friends and family over to our homes. So if we're not inviting our friends and family over to our homes, it kind of makes sense that a lot of sellers are not that comfortable inviting 100 strangers to come parading through their home trying to buy it. So that's where we're getting the largest discrepancy between buyers versus the number of buyers versus the number of sellers, which of course is causing the prices to go up due to historically low inventory numbers for available homes for sale. So now if you're probably thinking about, well, maybe now should be the good time, but I am concerned about the safety of COVID and everything, and I don't want 100 people marching through my home and having to deal with that and the stress of people coming through and stuff. While we do have tons of things we can do to lower your risk, of course there's no possible way I can guarantee eliminating any risk whatsoever, but we do have several measures in place. And because of the pandemic, it's quite easy nowadays to actually limit when showings will happen. Typically what we'd want to do is see the home go up on the market on a Monday or Tuesday, allow one evening of showings by appointment only with, of course, a mask and sanitizer and the smallest groups as possible, coming through the home for a 2-hour window on, let's say, a Thursday evening, and then we'll give a 3-hour window on a Saturday afternoon and a 3-hour window on a Sunday afternoon. With 15-minute appointments, that's several buyers coming through the home. Now, we do of course run the risk that we're not going to be able to get everybody through the home in that time. However, if we're going to get 15 offers from the people that came through in the limited number of showings versus 30 offers coming through, the chances of one of those additional 15 being substantially greater offer than the first 15 is not that high. As long as you understand that we might miss out some offers, we certainly can restrict the showing times and lower the number of people coming through your home and still get your home sold for an absolutely amazing price and get it sold super quick in about 1 week's time. So if that's something you're thinking about, the best bet is to give me a call and we can run through the entire process over the phone. Or if you feel like meeting and taking things to the next step, I can come to your home or we can meet at my office and we can go over all of the details on how we plan to keep you and your family safe while your home is listed on the market. Now on the other side of things, which is the sort of, maybe call it the bad news column, if you're looking to buy into a detached home, things are not easy at this point in time. Most of the time we're competing with up to 20, 30 other buyers putting offers in on the same home, having very restricted windows in order to view homes, like I mentioned, which is a benefit to the sellers. It's also a disbenefit to would-be buyers. We have to be very quick, very diligent, and get on new listings as soon as they come available on the market to make sure we have an opportunity to view these homes. Once we've viewed the homes and decided on a good price, I've seen it in my own business, like I mentioned earlier in the video, we've seen prices increase in some areas over 25% in a matter of weeks. When we're seeing prices go up that quickly, it's extremely difficult to predict what the actual market value of a home will be, or what the, well, maybe not the market value, but what a home might sell for based on what other buyers are willing to pay. So with that in mind, buyers are at this point in time having to put in what would basically be considered absolutely crazy numbers for homes that just a month and a half ago would have been selling for $200,000 less, just to get the home and get an offer that's even worth the seller looking at and compared to the other offers. So now you're probably wondering, why does this discrepancy exist in the first place and how long is it going to last? Well, I wish I could answer the how long it's going to last. Unfortunately, there's so many different factors, the vaccine being one of the big ones, I think. As soon as the pandemic is considered to be over, I think we're going to see this latest bit of mania, buyer hysteria, definitely slowed down. And I'm hoping we do see it slow down before then, as prices, like I say, are just starting to get right out of hand. Historically low interest rates are definitely a big part of why buyers are getting into things, as well as the low inventory causing the, as I said before, sort of the buyer hysteria, buyer mania, a little bit of panic that, oh no, I lost an offer on the last home, and the last two homes that were similar homes, and we saw a $50,000 increase in a matter of 1 week. I don't want to get left behind in the market. Let's offer $50,000 above that to make sure we can lock in. And if this trend continues, we're going to see prices get to a point where they're just simply not sustainable for the average buyer. And when the average buyer can't afford the homes anymore, the prices will come back down. Now the question is, where do they come back down to? Where they are today, where they'll be in a month, or where they were 2 weeks ago? It's very difficult to say, and like I said before, it depends on several factors, like how quickly things continue to go up and how long they continue to go up. Another big factor that's causing this discrepancy right now is the pandemic itself. As a society, we've come to terms with the dealings of the pandemic, the social distancing, wearing a mask, using sanitizer on a regular basis in order to carry on with our lives as normal as possible. That means taking trips to the supermarket to get groceries, going to Home Depot to get things. We've become accustomed to going to stores and wearing the mask, and it's unfortunately the new normal nowadays to do so. So as a buyer, the mentality of going through somebody's house is not that different than it is to go to the grocery store or to go to the hardware store. You're just going into a place, you're going to wear your mask, everybody's going to be respecting the social distancing, and you're going to get through the property, take a look at things while not touching anybody's stuff, and go on and move on to the next place if you're seeing a couple places. Now, sellers, on the other hand, the new social norms, as I said, are saying that we're not inviting our friends, we're not inviting our family over to our homes for visits. Why do we want to invite 100 different potential buyers to come marching on a parade through our home? So with those two things in mind, the new norms are causing this also to go the way it is. Sellers are simply not feeling as safe getting their homes listed on the market while having a bunch of people coming through their homes, whereas buyers are looking at it from the mindset more it's the same thing as going to the grocery store. As I mentioned earlier, of course, if you are thinking of selling, we do have several ways to mitigate the risk as much as possible, and the whole industry of real estate has been cooperating extremely well in keeping things down, keeping the distancing, and respecting appointments only for not open houses, but for allotted time slots. Buyers agents are very respectful of the time. And now if you are thinking about getting into a townhouse, like I say, if you're moving from a detached home into a townhouse, despite the fact that townhouse prices have gone up and are going up quite quickly, it's still, the gap is bigger than it's ever been, percentage wise and dollar wise, to make that downsizing move. And financially, your wallet's going to be thanking you if you do that anytime soon. Now, if you're looking to get into your first home or to upgrade from a condo into a townhouse, it's still certainly much more viable option to do than it is from a townhouse into a detached home. But because we're seeing that discrepancy of condos staying a little bit lower and townhouses increasing, there's a bigger gap to move that up once again. It certainly still is possible to get an accepted offer on a townhouse. And once again, recent weeks I've seen things jump up quicker than what the January averages would show. I've seen it in the last week alone in a couple of different townhouses where in 1 week's time things have increased by $50,000 or around 10 to 12% of the property past value, an increase in a matter of a week. So if things continue like that, we are going to see townhouses start to catch up to detached homes quite quickly, and I think condos are going to follow suit a little bit, but I don't think they're going to follow the detached homes as much. I think they'll stick closer to where the townhomes are today. Now, a lot of that is the previous insurance issues that we had talked about a year and a half ago there that were plaguing the condo industry. Those, for the most part, have seemed to have settled themselves out as far as the vast majority of properties increased almost double in value in a matter of 5 years, and the insurance rates didn't quite catch up. It's appearing that that's the case. So no matter what your plan is as far as real estate, if you are thinking about or you would like to make a move in the near future, definitely let me know. Give me a call, 604-218-5635. Send me a text, send me an email at kevin@kevinlewis.com. Leave a comment below. There's several ways you can get in touch with me. Like I say, if your plan or you're even toying with the idea, it's always better to talk to somebody sooner than later to make sure that you get the full picture of what's happening in the market, and we can draw up a bunch of different scenarios for your unique situation. I look forward to hearing from you as always. Otherwise, have another great month.